Time for Quick Insights, Big Impacts with Cassie Yoder from Cass Concepts. So if you're a business owner and things aren't going the way you planned and it's time for a rebrand, can you help there too?
Yeah, absolutely, Bub. You know, one of the things that we have a conversation with a lot of businesses, if they are established, at some point you have to revisit where is your company going and where is the brand or the vision or your logo? What does that look like? And has it changed over the years? Sometimes that's a really hard conversation to have with a business owner because they're so married to something that they started. And so it comes from a place of ego that they just don't want to change. But they're also not recognizing that maybe at some point over the years, the messaging has shifted. Your customers have spoke to you. They have thrown out some ideas. Maybe they put something into the box of, hey, we've got an opinion. But you know what? Sometimes that feedback is great. And so maybe your brand really no longer reflects the work that you're currently doing. And so it's time for a rebrand. Now, sometimes people, when you hear the word rebrand, they think, well, this is fluff stuff. This is that fluffy marketing stuff that I don't really care about. Like, this is the people that hop on Canva and spend, days and hours and months, trying to pick the correct colors. And that's important too. But really, I mean, your brand is that forefront that your customers see. And it's what's utilized in everything, from your logo to your website. So it is important. But we also have to recognize that sometimes it's misaligned. And so your tagline, a lot of times businesses have had these taglines for 20 years and they say, what's kind of funny? They say, Cassie, that tagline is maybe a 5% of the revenue stream of our overall business. It's time for a change. And so how powerful of that is to say, look at all of that growth and expansion that these businesses have had and that they have to keep up with the times. That if that's not really what you're pushing anymore, change it. Change the tagline. Change the messaging.
And she knows change is hard.
I do. I'm the first one to say I'm not a big fan of change. But man, is it necessary when it comes to that growth. And I think that is where you can kind of compartmentalize as a business and say, is it going to be easy? Not always. But is it going to be worth it in the end so that maybe it opens up more opportunities for revenue, more opportunities for growth on social media, more exposure, brand exposure? There's so many ways to grow when it comes to a rebrand. So we always try to remind people, this is not about just picking the perfect colors and the perfect logo. This is about changing the messaging so that the trajectory of your business can continue to scale.
Stubborn won't pay the bills.
That's true. I love that. I'm going to have to use that, Bub. Stubborn won't pay the bills. No, it's true. And I also think about, if you are reflective to where you're at today in your business model, what would you do differently? You have all of this information, you have all of this knowledge over the years. And so I think as a business owner, you have to say, you got to use that knowledge and you need to put it to good use. And so that way then, when you're forecasting out the next 1, 3, 5, 10, whatever that looks like, then all of a sudden you can say, okay, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad we made the pivot. And it was probably way past due, if we're being honest, for some of these businesses.
So if you're up for a healthy restart, give Cassie a call. How do we get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Hop online, go to cassconcepts.com. You can learn anything about our websites, the rebranding that we do, the business coaching, full scale modeling so that we can help businesses get up to speed and get up to what their customers are needing and what they're wanting.
We want you to win too.
Yes, absolutely.